Okay, it's time now to catch up on what's in today's papers in the press. Solange Mougin in studio. Good morning, or good day to you, Solange. Now, you're starting off with the resignation of Yoshiro Mori on the 2020 Olympics Committee, but those Olympics coming up. It's all been very complicated. He made some sexist remarks, Solange.
Yeah, he basically implied that women talk too much, and that has created an outrage globally. And it has, according to the Asahi Shimbun, been sort of like pouring salt on an open wound, according to the paper. And the scandal goes beyond these remarks and his misogyny, though. The sexism, the paper says, is rampant in Japan, and to prove it, an online campaign has been launched entitled "Do Not Be Silent," #Women Who Refuse to Know Their Place. End quote. And the French paper Le Monde also agrees that such machismo is deeply rooted in Japanese society and that such sexist comments are commonplace, but often treated lightly, namely by the Japanese press. But that outrage over Mori's comments could change things. This could be a watershed moment, Le Monde says, and time is of the essence. The number of women committing suicide in Japan is rising, and the paper says that sexism is partially to blame for some of those suicides.
Okay, so bad news, I guess, for the Olympic Committee, but if it has a silver lining for women's rights in Japan or women's issues. Now, to the US and the impeachment trial of Donald Trump, House prosecutors have concluded their arguments. Solange, I guess lots of reaction in the US press.
Yeah, yesterday we talked about reactions to the rather shocking videos, reactions of the American people, reactions of senators. So I thought today we'd go a little bit lighter and share some cartoons with you. Let's start with Chapat's drawing of for the Boston Globe. He has the head House manager, Jamie Raskin, saying, quote, "Trump incited the mob," and a red hat wearing a senator retorting, Democrats and their conspiracy theories. A little bit more spin can be found in a cartoon by Herman from the Tribune de Genève. He has a Trump lawyer saying impeaching him would be useless and unjust, for Twitter has already been taken away from the president. But perhaps my very favorite of the day is a cartoon by Peter Brooks for the London Times. Now, it is a nod to this week's viral video of a lawyer with a cat filter during a deposition.
I already love it. I haven't even read it. I already love it.
It's a wonderful video. If you have not seen it,
Fantastic.
You need to. And this cartoon is a sort of spin on that. It has Trump saying, "I never incited insurrection. I'm just a great big pussycat."
Oh, that is just too good. Too good. Now, let's turn to continued protests in Myanmar. Solange, you found some interesting analysis pieces about what's going on in the country.
Yeah, getting a bit serious again. The Guardian argues that despite the military's sort of crackdowns, the country's generals may not be as secure as they may seem, that their seizing of power has energized the population and created a sort of cross-party and cross-generational cohesion, and one that hasn't been seen in years. A togetherness that the Atlantic also refers to. It wonders why it took a coup and not years of alleged genocide to bring the people together against the brutality of the military. And the Atlantic argues it has a lot to do with Myanmar's Generation Z, their young people, reassessing the role that the military has in their lives. But it also has to do, according to the Atlantic, with the fact that Aung San Suu Kyi, there is a devotion that is more religious than political in her regard.
That's a beautiful photo as well of the protest movement there in Myanmar. Now, China is kicking off the Lunar New Year celebrations today. How's the press covering the holiday?
Well, Le Temps, the Swiss paper, takes us through this Lunar New Year and why it's different from others, and that is because, as we all know, the virus, with strict quarantine rules in some places, and even in some places, sort of monetary incentives, rewards to not travel. It is the most traveled holiday in the world, and it is a new year. This year is the Ox. That's a bit heartbreaking because of that for some. The paper explains that some workers only get one shot this holiday to go see their children, for example. Many can't go home because of the restrictions and the risks. Now, giving to others is part of the New Year's tradition. And in the Phnom Penh Post tells us that in China and in Cambodia as well, the little envelopes filled with cash, they may be smaller this year because of the economic downturn. A little less festive than usual this holiday, but the China Daily is still all smiles. It describes the significance of the ox, again, it is the year of the ox, and how its, quote, strength and humility have forged legends, and that the animal's diligence and altruism are qualities that remain as relevant as ever.
Especially in times of difficulty.
Exactly.
You have to try to remember these principles. Now, there isn't only the Chinese New Year to celebrate. Sunday is Valentine's Day, which will be a day of celebration, or tears for others perhaps. But if you're single, there's a new way to possibly find love.
Yes, for all those who may be crying on this Valentine's Day, you should head to eastern France, where a supermarket has had a novel idea. Le Parisien tells us they're providing shopping carts in this Leclerc that say, "Single, please adopt me."
Oh.
So now, some people may think this is a great idea. Others, myself included, find the language a bit sort of off-putting, tagging me, adopt me. But nevertheless, love can be found anywhere, even at the supermarket. However, if you are shopping, do not forget to buy your hairspray.
Oh.
This leads me to another story, because a woman in Louisiana forgot and ran out of her hairspray. So to slick her hair, she used a Gorilla Glue, which is a kind of adhesive spray like Crazy Glue. And
that was a bad idea.
It's a very bad idea. She could not get it off. She went to the hospital. It became a viral TikTok video that raised actually quite a bit of money. It's a great sort of funny but disturbing video. Anyway, the Daily Mail tells us that she has come unstuck thanks to a kind plastic surgeon who had to put her under for 4 hours. Moral of the story, get all dolled up for Thanksgiving, for Valentine's Day, but do not use Gorilla Glue.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
No Gorilla Glue in your party preparations. Ever. Right. Thanks for that, Solange.